We are going to start with presentations on the topic of the hijab issue, and in the end I will speak on this topic. Let's start. Now in front of us is Saksham, give me your viewpoint on the hijab ban, and all of you can ask questions from Saksham in between. This is a discussion, this is a debate going on. Start, Saksham.
Firstly, I would like to more prone towards your what hijab is.
Yeah.
What basically hijab means and why it is an issue nowadays. And third point, I would like to discuss what are the arguments which are placing day by day, why there is this issue is in a limelight today. What are the arguments which are to be considered by Supreme Court or the Karnataka High Court for giving any sort of judgment regarding this hijab? Firstly, if we see Quran, in Quran Surah 59, if it is written, O Prophet, tell your wife, daughter, and the women of the believers to bring down or themselves the part of their outside garments that is the more suitable, that they will be recognized and not be abused, or ever is Allah forgiving or merciful. These are the words which are written in the Quran itself, which clearly depicts that men and women should be having some sort of parda. And if we see, there is a shariat mentioned in Quran which plays a very integral role if we consider in the Islamic era, as well as what Islamic people, Muslim people obey till now. And one of the place, it is written that a man and women should do parda. The main purpose for the rule of hijab is for the protection of women and not for the purpose of oppressing the women. If we consider these words, which are written in Quran itself, they clearly depict what hijab is, what the custom means, and from why it is prevalent in Muslims. The main objective for this is to protect the modesty of a woman, if we consider it as an argument in the favor of a woman. Many people nowadays doesn't perform a parda, but it doesn't mean when they perform namaz, it is clearly written in Quran that the women had or men had to do some type of parda to perform namaz. And one of the 5 pinaks which are mentioned in Quran, one of them is parda, that is hijab. The hijab doesn't mean that there hijab doesn't mean that there is some sort of proper word hijab has not been used in your Quran itself. The word hijab clearly means a curtain or a partition. Many people say that Prophet Muhammad's wives used to do parda just as they live in the mosque. These were the things which we consider that they are prevalent in the issue of hijab. If we see in Sunnis, there are 4 schools which mandated the wearing of hijab, whereas in Shias, all the schools have mandated it as well. If we consider Indonesia, which holds the largest population of Muslims, it doesn't hold any sort of hijab thing. They have already banned hijab for the school girls completely. If we consider the South Arabia as well, they have also has no sort of mandate provision for hijab in this country. In various other countries, hijab is not in sine qua non. But as India, position in India, if we talk about a country like India, if we consider Article 21 and 25 of Constitution, it has clearly written the right to life. Firstly, Article 21, whereas Article 25, it has clearly the right to propagate any sort of religion. And indirectly, it is giving a right to women to do a hijab.
Okay.
The word I have clearly mentioned, hijab and burqa word has not been clearly used in a shariat in Quran. Nowhere it is mentioned. There is a word that a woman should be dressed properly,
Okay.
which doesn't outrage the modesty of a woman. And same rule applies to men as well. If we consider that if we consider there is a human right as well, a woman or a man, if they want to wear a dress code, they can wear it. And if we consider any sort of aspects, if we just mention the dress codes, and India being a democratic country, the person has complete right to profess and wear whatever he or she wants. I think these arguments are sufficient for favoring this hijab issue.
So you openly favor hijab.
No, I said there are some of the arguments which favor hijab and there are some of the arguments which doesn't favor hijab. I
What's
can't.
your personal opinion? If you are a judicial officer and you have to decide, should there be ban on hijab in schools and colleges?
Sir, I have already told the hijab only means the partition or a curtain. It doesn't mean that a woman should just completely uh, evil her while her face. The most important identification of a woman that a person can be identified is from her or his face.
Yeah.
If a woman or a man, if she wears a burqa, she will be unable to be seen, and it might hamper any sort of terrorism. It may cause any sort of problems that may be, eh, if the identification of person is not done, the person will might be there will be a problem or a loopholes which may occur.
You give me your judgment.
I'm not denying about it, but I would be more towards a bit. May I give a quasi type of judgment
Give me
on
judgment.
this?
Ban is okay or ban is not okay.
So, I would like to say on this: the ban is not completely okay.
Not completely. Okay or not okay.
So, for
A judicial officer has to take a stand. Either the order of ban on hijab upheld or dismissed.
sir, it is to be upheld with one thing conditions which must be cited, that the face identification, proper identification, the face should be evident to each and every person of a woman.
There is no hijab, then face is clearly visible.
No,
So,
sir.
according
The
to
hijab doesn't mean the. I have already read the Prophet Muhammad Sunnah, which is meant Quran Sunnah, which is already said by Prophet Muhammad that there is only the face is evident, the hands, or these two things are to be seen. All the body parts of a woman are to be covered. I am saying this hijab should be done, but it should be done as per the conditions which are mentioned in the Quran Sharif. They
so
are not to be done as per the prophets which are there nowadays.
Saksham, the
They are
issue is
not to be manipulated.
Karnataka government says that there should be a uniform. There should be a uniform which should be same for each and every student. Therefore, just like France, no hijab should be there. Not covering of hair means head should not be covered. Same uniform for all students, maybe of any religion. So the thing is, should there be same uniform means no hijab or yes hijab?
Sir, if we consider the France issue, there will be one thing. We are a democratic country, and each and every person has a right to do whatever she or he wants to.
You support hijab, okay?
Somewhere I support it.
Well, means you are not clear about your stand? Okay, let others speak. Anybody who supports hijab, speak. Saksham, start taking decisions, because
So,
in this exam you have to decide either yes or no. You can't say to some extent I support, but to some extent I say I don't support.
excuse me, sir.
Yes,
So, I would say I totally support hijab.
speak whatever
Okay, sir.
logic. Start.
Yes, yes, so first of all, very warm salutations to everyone present here. So, first of all, I would like to tell that being even not I'm a Muslim, and also even not I'm not so into it, but still I choose to speak on the foresight of it and totally, because I believe that even if in a country like India, most of the majority of the people are speaking against it, but I will speak for side, because when it comes to religion, I only see the religious aspect, not the social and political aspect, which all the other people are saying. So I bet like a person like me and even the other educated ones, they would obviously, they would just speak against it if it was an imposition. But it's not an imposition. Just let me clear you all. It's not an imposition, not a force or authority. It's just a choice. If you know, for Islamic women who choose to wear the hijab, it allows them to retain their modesty, morals, and freedom of choice. They choose to cover it because they believe it is liberating and allows them to avoid harassment. So it's all about choice. I don't know why we Indians are being so idiotic and we are banging our heads into this thing. Like, we shouldn't say that to ban hijab, because it's totally irrelevant. And kind of Muslim women who, like, who feel they should wear because they want to avoid this harassment of any type, be it physical or sexual, and they just feel safe. They don't want to, just make it out their identity to all the people. So until and unless if it's an imposition, I will speak against it, but it's not, so I'm not. And if I talk about currently situation in India, so if women want to wear it and go to school, they should be allowed, because they just, it's a kind of choice, I think, and we are no one to say anything against it. That was my point, sir.
Okay. Ikam, Saksham, they all support hijab. Anybody who doesn't support hijab? Anuradha, give me your viewpoint.
सर हिजाब को मैं सपोर्ट नहीं करती.
If possible, switch on your camera.
सर हिजाब को मैं सपोर्ट नहीं करती. Reason being, in 21st century there is no need like hijab. जिस टाइम पे शुरू किया गया था सर.
Camera is not on. Your camera is not on.
कैमरा ऑन है सर.
You people can see Anuradha?
Yes, sir.
ऑन है सर.
Okay, okay, Anuradha, start. Give
सर
me
आई एम सेइंग कि हिजाब आज के जमाने में सही नहीं है. इसको
speak in English.
इसको हटा देना चाहिए.
Can you speak in English?
सर नो.
You should try.
Okay. In these days, government or as well as courts may take decision to remove hijab because it come in the hurdle of women for their growth or etc. So in these days there is no need of hijab. When hijab was started, then circumstances were different, but in these days there is no need of hijab, to wear hijab.
Any other point?
It relates to freedom, personal liberty.
There is one more student with us in the name of Zoom user. Would you like to speak? What's your good name? Other than Tajinder, Saksham, there is one student that was Zoom user. Tajinder, give me your viewpoint. Do you support yes, hijab should be there, or you say hijab should not be there? Tajinder, give me your viewpoint. Come on, Tajinder. Would you like to
Sir,
speak? Yeah, come on.
I think hijab shouldn't be there, sir.
Hijab should mean same uniform for all students.
Yes, sir.
If it is so, then people of other religions like Sikh, they will also be treated in the same manner, because Amritari Sikh girl has to cover the head. They have to have beard, the male. The boys need to have beard, they can't shave, and they have to keep kirpan as well. These two all are religious symbols. I should tell you, in 2016, the Supreme Court upheld the discharge of a Muslim airman from the Indian Air Force only on one ground, and the ground was keeping a long beard. Means Muslim airman, worker of Indian Air Force, was thrown out of job because of his beard. You cannot keep a Muslim beard, Islamic beard. Okay, so this is Supreme Court decision. So if Supreme Court is against religious symbols of Islam, should it be against religious symbols of people of other religion applied to Sikhism? Now tell me your viewpoint. Do you support hijab or not? Tejinder.
I support hijab now, sir.
Support hijab. Now you have changed your stand.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Earlier you said there should not be anything like hijab, but now you say there should be hijab because you yourself you are from Sikh religion. Is the reason?
Yes, sir.
Okay. When it comes to self, then more often we change our stand. It happens. We all are human beings. Come on.
Yes,
So-
so that's the reason I choose this, because I read about this Sikhism, Amrit baptism, you just told about it. So that was the reason. But it's not so much often that we Sikhs are targeted. We are not targeted. I don't know what's the reason, but Muslims are.
Because they are being the minority section, na?
Minority and the Sikh community people are very affluent. They are strong. They are politically so well.
Yes, so
Especially
I am talking about Muslims. They are in minority nowadays, and they become limelight just for nothing, I think.
yes,
Sometimes.
there are
so
many. What happened is that
Personally, I am not a Muslim, but still, I hold a good point for them because, no doubt, there is always pros and cons for each and everything if we consider them. But whatever is mentioned in a religion, if you will say a girl who want to wear suits and or the jeans, sir, it doesn't mean this is her personal choice. You
okay,
can't say that.
I should tell you, there are two sects in Jainism, Jain religion,
Yes, sir.
Shwetambar and Digambar. And Shwetambar people have to wear only white color clothes.
Sir, if we consider about these things, why wouldn't we consider the sadhus which we observe in your I forgot.
Religion. Sadhus is not a religion. I'm talking about religion. If every person of every religion is allowed to wear apparels as per the religion in schools, then of course there will be a big problem. This is the small problem with Jain religion people. They can't wear uniform. They have to wear white clothes only. Those who are the followers of PUCA movement in Punjab, you can find they all have to wear only white color clothes. Those who are followers of Prajapita Brahmakumari Ishwari Vishwavidhalaya, Brahmakumaris, they also wear white clothes. And severe is the situation if we talk about Digambar sect. They do not wear any clothes, not even a single cloth on the body. So should they also be allowed to go naked in their schools and colleges? Come on.
like it is a kind of kind of imposition, compulsion, or it's just a kind of rule?
Sir,
In what in even in Sikh religion, covering head, okay, it is something which is professed. You should do it, but it is not a compulsion.
Yes,
Okay,
so unless it's not a compulsion, then we are just not to do anything.
it's not a compulsion. They say it should be there. You have to do it is not there. So should word. They,
sir, if
this is
we
the
see
code of
any
conduct.
religion, sir, if we see any religion, it may be Hinduism, it may be your Muslim, it may be your Jainism, Christians, Parsis. Sir, no religion just impound anything on a person.
Yeah.
At many places there is a always right to choose, and the freedom is always there. And if we consider about when we were talking about Islamic law, Quran, sir, I think it is the most progressive, I think most progressive law in this whole world, if we consider accordingly. Because in Hinduism, if we consider about Hinduism, there are people, a man can marry endlessly after, before 1955's Hindu Marriage Act. There
Yeah.
is no bar. But where it at, it is in 1500 century when it was written, Quran Sharif was written, the person has only right to marry 4 women, and the man has to treat all the women's way at a he has to give uh, first prior permission to marry a woman from the married women of him.
Look, necessity is the mother of invention. What happened in those times? I should tell you the history. Why the rule of 4 marriages came in Islam. They were considered, those days are considered at present are dark ages. People
Yes,
used
sir.
to fight, tribal peoples used to fight even for water. One Kabila people, they used to attack the other Kabila only for their pond, their lake, their water, because there was no water,
If
and they used to kill all
consider
the
Muslim, sorry to interrupt, if we consider Muslim as a tribe, because Muslims are just the their forefathers are just Qurayshi tribe.
No, no,
What
we are not talking about tribals. I'm telling you, before the starting of Islam, when there was no Islam, the area Makkah, Medina, in that area, there was no Islam. Before Prophet Muhammad, about 2-3 centuries before Islam, I'm talking about that time. That was a dark age. People used to fight for food and water. One group of tribals used to kill the other group. Okay, and slowly, what happened? Number of females was much more than number of males. 4:1 was the ratio. In the time of Prophet Muhammad, there were 4 times of women, of men. Means if there were 1 lakh men, there were 4 lakh women. Therefore, it was very much urgent in that time to make a rule that one should marry at least 4 women. Because if you marry only 1 woman, rest of the 3 women as per the ratio, they would have to go for begging or slavery or prostitution. Okay, so give them respect, give them a respectable life. If you have resources, you should marry more and more women. Before Prophet Muhammad, all the religious leaders, they used to say marry more and more women so that lesser women die. Women used to die on the roadside, starving without food and water. Okay, so religious leaders used to say, take women in your shelter. You have killed their men for water, but at least do not let the women die of starvation. For centuries, religious leaders preached like this, marry more and more women. Then the ratio was stabilizing. Earlier, the ratio was 20:1, 1 man, 20 women. Okay, so keeping in mind your resources, okay, as much as you can spend, okay, though keeping in mind this thing, you should marry more and more women. This was the preaching before Prophet Muhammad. Then Prophet Muhammad said, now the ratio is not that bad. We need to now impose a condition. Don't marry too many women, not more than 4. Okay, so this was the need there, but it never happened in India. If you say in India, in Hinduism, there was never a limit. Islam is better because they imposed a limit. Come on, we never were in need of a limit, because never it happened that we killed all men and women were in plenty. So in Islam, the basic theory was, if you have resources, then you take more women in your shelter. Okay, and Hinduism also, okay, there was no limit. Okay, I understand, but there was no need of a limit. This thing you should do. Okay, then came the era of liberation. Then came the era of women rights, women equality, women education, and as soon as the era of women equality was there, we came up with the law of monogamy. So Hinduism is very liberal, lenient in this. The moment we need something, we get it done. Sati Pratha was barbaric, but when awareness came, we changed it. But Islamic people, they are not ready to change. Do they need 4 marriages? No. Is all educated, all well-educated Islamic men, they do not marry 4 women. If there are some people who are married 2, 3, or 4 women, they are those either because of some particular reasons, not having good relations with one wife or something like that, or due to illiteracy or so, they are doing it in villages especially. So many Islamic countries have banned hijab. Many Islamic countries have banned burqa. Many Islamic countries have banned triple talaq. Many Islamic countries have banned 4 marriages also. But in India, government is not ready to come with progressive laws. This is a progressive law. This is a progressive law that all students in a school should be treated equally. What happened in Udupi? 6 girls, they were wearing hijab. They were not allowed to come to the college, to enter the college. Okay, and then the issue was taken up by CFI, Campus Front of India. This is a student wing of PFI, which is a Muslim organization. The main Muslim organization is PFI, and SDPI, the political wing of PFI, they won 3 seats in Udupi urban local body elections. It is all politics. They want to come in limelight. Taking the help of this issue, they are coming to political power in Karnataka. You understand? So I strongly favor uniform civil code. If today we do not make laws in a light of and in the way of, in the direction of uniform civil code, our dream will never be achieved. This is a small thing. What is the benefit of hijab for a girl student attending lectures in a school? You tell me. If a girl student is attending a class in a school and she is wearing hijab, okay, she will be differentiated. She is a Muslim girl. You tell me what is the advantage? Majority of girls over here, they never wore any hijab in schools. What their disadvantage they faced? Is there any advantage?
So I would, yes, so they're really, the what I'm going to tell, they're really unnoticed advantages. So if you see, there's a kind of really problem, guys are taking pics of girls. This is a really, issue we you also have heard, and girls who are not wearing hijab, they only are the victims of it. And girls who are wearing, they don't.
Girl is wearing hijab, means not showing hair, then her pic will not be taken.
No, sir, she will not even get identified properly because they all look same in hijab. Her face will not be,
Confusing hijab with
revealed.
burqa. You are confusing
So
hijab with
when you
burqa.
heard hijab is completely for the face, hijab is not there for completely for the face. Many Muslim friends of mine
I should tell you what is hijab. Hijab is only and
a
only.
curtain or a partition.
Yeah, sir, I have seen it.
So if you know hijab, I am going to show you the image of hijab as well. Okay,
But
let me.
the girl is completely identified after wearing hijab.
Rather, I have a different notion. I have a different theory about this. If something is given to you, but you are asked not to see that. If I write something on a paper and give that paper to you and in a folded manner, and I say, do not read what I have written in it, you will be tempted more. You will be tempted more to read what is written in that.
So that's not the thing, sir. If you, it might sound like not so good, but I would say if you look at Google it, if you look at the harassment cases, most of the victims are, Hindus, Sikhs, or girls who belong to, Hinduism and Sikh and even the Christians. But Muslim girls are not so much into the victims of this harassment and rapes and all.
I don't feel this is hijab. Only covering.
I don't agree with this one.
This is hijab.
Yes, sir. Sir, okay, sir.
Okay,
So,
so
but still, the whole, that whole curve is not visible, I would say.
if a girl is in this attire, means only covering the head, photographs will be taken, of course, boys will follow, and if some crimes have to be there, of course crimes can be there. And you are wrong over here. If you go to France, if you go to America, there are those countries even where there are naked beaches. You won't find crimes against women to the extent you will find in Islamic countries.
So, we are talking about in India. So, I feel this majorly Muslim girls don't fall as victims of rape and all.
Islamic girls are in minority. Islamic girls get married in short age, in very small age. Okay,
Puberty.
Islamic girls. First, you take it like this. In your class in which you were studying, how many Islamic girls were your classmates? Tell me.
Sir, 5 classmates of mine are today are my classmates.
How
But
many
one
Hindu and Sikh?
college, they are my classmates, and one of is my good friend of mine, and she used to wear hijab.
Tell me the number. How many were non-Islamic girls and how
So,
many were Islamic girls?
so in my school, I would say like there's a ratio of, we can say 2:100. Yes, it can be.
200. This is
Yes, sir.
and 2 is to 100. Na? You won't find a big number of PhD Islamic girls. You won't find even masters A of Islamic girls. The moment they get graduate, they get married. So still in India, females in Islam, they are not given proper education. They are not given proper higher education as are given to Hindu girls and Sikh girls and Christian girls. Okay, because they are not allowed to go out much. Because in my coaching institute, I have seen approximately 10 girls till date had been Islamic girls in my coaching institute, where more than 5,000 students have studied from here. And I can even count their names on number, but I can't count the names of girls of other religion. This is the reason. If you say because of hijab and burqa, they are not exposed to crime, you are mistaken. You
No,
go to
so I still will say that this is a really big advantage. And even if, some sites mention it that they wear it, that I just mentioned it, that it allows them to avoid harassment. and which is a really we just avoid this region. We just sound really idiotic, but it's not, it's true. Like majority of the Hindu girls are only victims of rape, sexual harassment and all, but Muslims are not so much.
Because Hindu girls are more in number, they are having lesser restrictions on going out in night. There is strictness over Hindu girls is less as compared to Islamic girls. Islamic girls very rarely you will find roaming on streets in night time. You will find very less, very rare you will find in a discotheque. You will not find in late hours any Islamic girl.
Yes, so you gave a really right answer, and that what I was asking for. And this is the reason that means in Hinduism and other religion, there should be some rules for the girls, and that's how it can avoid these harassments and all. And then we only complain that why it is happening. These are the reasons what you're saying, which are exactly right.
Other
I'm
way.
saying
Let's
that
go to USA, where you have a free society. If you go to France, you go to Portugal, you will
I
get,
would like to say something on this. May
yeah,
I?
yeah.
I think Ma'am Ekam Dhillo was saying few words on this, sharing few. Sir, if we think that make rules for Hindu girls, make rules for Sikh girls, sir, what is the fun of having a freedom then?
You
Each and
don't,
everything will be restricted.
I would like to give you some information where you will find very much openness, like in America, like in England, like in France, whole of Europe. Female are free.
So
Okay.
crime is not the reason that a girl roam here and there.
Yeah,
It
it is
can't be the
all
reason.
about
If
mentality.
being a judge, if being
Yes,
a
sir.
judge, I will say this: if I am dealing a rape case, sitting as a judge, as a judicial magistrate, and I will quote these words that this is because of you, that you are the victim. They are the inappropriate words which I am saying just because you are a Hindu or a Sikh. That is why you are the victim of this heinous act. No, this is not the right answer.
And if a girl is moving out freely in night and going to party and she is raped, it means culprit is wrongdoer is the girl, according to the account.
Yes, sir. Yes, no, sir. I meant, so first of all, we all were for the side of hijab, right? So we can't change our sides like others are doing. And I will still, for at any cause, I will speak for the side of hijab and this whole Muslim kind of restrictions, because I'm here to speak for that only. And still, I would say that
This is not a restriction for
I just compared the restrictions. And like you only said that Muslim girls are like they have some, they are not allowed to go out at
I
really
have
dark,
already
and that's
quoted
why.
one of the sunnah that is mentioned in Quran as well.
Look,
Whatever it is not, I am not saying that is a restriction. I have already said that is an option, that is a choice. I have already mentioned these words while I was saying. When I was
Yes, sir.
speaking, I have already given few arguments that are in favor and that are not in favor.
So
So,
do I said all this right of choice and all?
Ms. Dhillon, you are highly mistaken that I am just changing my, sides. That when I was saying in favor of
that
education, I am in.
So here we are talking about the favor of Muslims only if we choose this, hijab controversy, because we are just talking about their rights. And this was a really main reason that why girls wearing hijab and burqa, they are saved more. And this is a really practical reason, but we don't take it because we try to be seem like more educated. But this is a really real reason that why Muslim girls are really, yes, sir.
quite, listen to me. Look, we are having a supreme law of land, and that is the Constitution of India, which
Yes,
has
sir.
directive principles and which contains uniform civil code.
Yes.
So when will we move in the direction of uniform civil code? Let me tell you a few more informations. In France, there are two types of secularism. One is negative, one is positive. France and whole of Europe work on the concept of secularism, but negative secularism. They say religion is your private affair. Okay, religion is your private affair, and practice your religion at your home, not out of your home. When you have moved out of your home, you cannot wear any religious symbol. Even turbans are not allowed. Sikhs
Yes,
cannot
sir.
have come out with the religious symbols. Okay.
Yeah,
In,
just
in France, just let me speak. In France, in midday meal scheme, pork means suar, pig was served to all these students in a school. And a Muslim student raised an objection. He said, pig is not allowed to be eaten according to Islam. So I cannot eat pig. Pork is not allowed. I will not eat. France government said we will not change the rules. Keep your religion at your home. Either you eat or you do not eat. But if you eat, you would have to eat pork only. So they are very strict. They do not recognize religion. Government says, their laws say politics and religion are separate. But in India, what we have is Sarv Dharma Sambhav. We have positive secularism. All religions are equal in the eyes of law. We consider all religions equally. Everybody has a right to profess, practice his or her religion. So, because of this thing, a new problem has come up. Okay, on one hand we have uniform civil code, and on one hand we have religious freedom, directive principles and fundamental duties. On one side we have Article 44 Uniform Civil Code, which is non-justiciable. Okay, and on one side we have Article 25. We very well know whenever there is a conflict between fundamental rights and directive principles, then fundamental rights prevail over directive principles. Now, there is a need to rethink. There is a need to rethink. Should religion be above equality? Should religion be above uniform civil code or not? If we do not move in the in the way of uniform civil code, the day is not far when people will demand for their separate countries, like Pakistan was made for people of Islamic faith. There is a demand of Khalistan for people of Sikhism faith. So we should first have national integration. We should first love our country and not our religion. Love for the country should be more than love for our own religion. This is my personal viewpoint. So we should move in the light of uniform civil code. If we do not now make strict laws, sometimes strict laws give birth to a social change. And yes, we need a social change. Yes, we need a social change. Religion comes after the country. Country is first. Religion is after that. And if rights are given to all Islamic girls to wear burqa or hijab as per their religion in educational institutions, then of course some Hindus who are demanding, Bajrangal who is demanding the wearing of saffron color clothes, they should be allowed. Means putting an end to the concept of school uniforms. We should move in a progressive way. Okay, and laws have been made. When sati was banned, so many Hindu organizations, they said we have a fundamental right of freedom of religion, so sati should not be banned. Okay, at that time there were no Indian constitution. Britishers banned, Lord William Bentinck banned sati pratha, and it was Indian culture. It was a basic tenet of Hinduism. It was a strict law against Hindus. Don't you now support the banning of sati? Tell me, banning of sati was good or not?
So it was absolutely good. So first of all, I mentioned this, that it's a matter of choice. Sati was an imposition. It was a force of authority. It was totally compulsion. So I mentioned in my front four only that I will go against on anything if it's a compulsion. But if it's not, then we are no one to talk about it, right? So it's not, it was a compulsion, so I'm against it. I mentioned it earlier also.
So should hijab be allowed in schools? If it is allowed, then there will be end to the concept of school uniforms.
So, like, not every Muslim woman is into wearing it. There are some who are actually really religious, so they want to wear, let them wear. And they are just, if there are 20 Muslim girls, also four of them only wants to wear hijab. So let them. It's not like, it's not a headache or kind of something.
Similar freedom be given to Sikh religion people.
So it's already like given.
Should similar freedom be given to Hindus also?
So Hindus don't. I don't know about them a lot. Like what's like they don't. They do have any cloth and all.
A cloth, Hare Ram written on a cloth and wearing as an apparel. This is very much in the religion. Wearing a
So
genetic.
if they want to, they can wear. Like, I don't know about Hinduism a lot, but in Sikh, there's also not an imposition of that Amrit baptism. If someone respects it, they can follow it, and people really follow it. So
Freedom be
I
given
don't.
to people of Jain religion, Shvetambars.
Yes, so in any religion I just mentioned, tell me a religion which has a compulsion. I will then answer to it. Which,
You said freedom should be given to hijab, freedom should be given to Sikh, freedom should be given to Hindus, freedom should be given to Shvetambar. Should freedom be given to Digambar? No clothes.
so is it, and like, if they want to, they can. Again, I will just stay on my point that it's, if it's an imposition, then no. If it's not, then yes.
Will it be good for a school to have naked students?
So I will just stay on my side. Yes, so it will. If they want, they can.
And should the same rules apply in courts also? A lawyer practicing in a court, appearing before the bench with a burqa, then in white clothes, then sadhu libas, bhagwa, and naked. Should they be allowed?
Yes, so if the government, see, it's in our fundamental rights only that we have right to propagate any religion. So like the uniform civil code doesn't apply all over the India till now.
But when will it be applicable? If
So
we
first of, yes,
we are the people of law, if we do not profess, propagate uniform civil code, how will uniform civil code work?
so first of all, you just mentioned two countries, USA and France. So they are always, one step forward from us, because they got independence in really, 1797, in 1800s they both got. So we can't compare them with us, and everything will be late in India, be it anything. Even uniform, it would take 10 to 20 years, because it like it's always late.
Not now, but hijab should be banned after 10-20 years.
So I don't support its banning at all. So
You say we should wait now. Not now, but after 10-20 years, we can bring all equality changes or uniform civil code. You say this.
so no, like, I don't support any banning. If our constitution talks about the equality and all these rights form of thing, so we should just follow it. Just follow
This
it. It's here.
this was a debate, okay? We debated many. The main idea behind debating is freedom of speech, and you should remove all your stoppages and your inner you can say hesitations in speaking.
Yes, sir.
Students freely in English. Okay. So all of you, Saksham spoke very well. Okay. Ekam spoke very well. Anuradha made a good attempt. Tejidar made a good attempt. But Anuradha and Tejidar, start speaking more. You speak less. Anuradha, Tejidar, are you listening?
So can I make a point?
One point
Yeah.
on
Speak.
it. Ekam ma'am, you just proceed with your point first.
Okay, so for, like, it's not about the topic. I would like to lay down some rules of debate. Like, so you may know, I know, but so like, it was not in, as I just started talking about the restrictions of Muslim women and praising them, that that's why her advantages. So you started like taking like kind of ganging means it's a part of debate. I don't blame it, but as I chose like in for the forefront only, I chose like I will speak for this side. So by hook or crook, if it's an official debate, I have to be on that side. Even if if you meet out me personal, I'm not a person who is such a discriminatory what I just said, but I was assigned this topic to speak for the topic, so I have to be on that side and I can't change my point. And it is not allowed also that if you are like if you say me that you are a Sikh, you have to change. I will never change my point because it's a kind of marks are cut out if you just start favoring the other people if someone tries to instigate it. So that's what I want to say, that it's we can't just change side. Even if I was about to speak for the hijab, for the side, I will speak totally for the Muslims and their plus points. I will not at all, even if they don't have, but still I have to say. So that was the thing.
Have to say, but this is the very much, this is the essence, that whatsoever topic is given to you, you have to speak on that. Even if you don't have,
Exactly.
you have to take some points, okay? And but in the end, there are some admissions, okay? And good debating is not only speaking; it is listening also, coming up with logical points also, and admitting other points also. Okay, so debates never end with the conclusion, because this
Yes.
debate is in front of Supreme Court as well. There were very less students because everybody was favoring hijab. So there was nobody who was vehemently, except Radha, there was nobody who was vehemently opposing hijab. So I was the alone person who was opposing hijab. Okay. Am I right? You understand?
Okay, sir.
I had to choose this topic. So this is debating, this is a healthy debating. So although I had so many other points in favor of hijab, yes, hijab should be there, but there was nobody speaking against hijab. So I chose the topic to speak against hijab. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
So this is debating, and it is a bit different from presentations. Yes, in the last Sunday we had presentation, okay, and Ekam gave presentation, and next time all of you have to first speak for 5 minutes to 10 minutes each on your topic, and when everybody will be over with presentations, then we will start debating, okay, mooting, okay, arguments, fine, okay.
Yes, sir. Sir, and we have to stay on our sides only. Exactly, like totally.
Now you tell me, how was it today?
So it was good, really good.
Radha,
It's okay, sir.
fine. Saksham,
Partially good.
okay. Next time, most probably the topic will be about Ukraine-Russia conflict, because that is the hottest topic now, okay?
Okay, sir. So we did it that.
But now scenario will change, topics will change to a large extent, okay, because now the war has started, okay. So
Okay, sir.
this is you the exact topic. It will be related to,
Yes, sir.
because there can't be a better discussion now on any other topic other than this. Be regular with your newspapers, especially on the topic of Ukraine-Russia conflict. Fine.
Okay, sir. So I like it would be really good if you only assign us the countries which will be we on side of.
I will. Okay, fine.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Discuss in the chat box of your groups. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Bye bye.